Imagine a border, a line drawn in the sand, a place of fear, of desperation, of heartbreak. But what if, just what if, that line could become a place of hope? Ibrahim Traoré, his name echoes with a promise of compassion, of unwavering dedication, a promise whispered on the winds of change, sweeping across Africa. He isn't just a leader, he is a beacon, a testament to the power of empathy, a living embodiment of hope, in a world desperately searching for it. The border pulsed with a nervous energy, a palpable tension hanging heavy in the air, families torn apart, lives shattered, dreams deferred. This was a place where humanity often seemed to vanish, swallowed by bureaucracy and fear. But on this day, everything changed. Traoré arrived, not with the fanfare of a politician, but with the quiet strength of a shepherd tending to his flock. His eyes, pools of understanding, scanned the faces etched with worry and exhaustion. He saw not numbers, not statistics, but human beings, each with a story, each with a right to dignity. He walked among them, his presence a calming force in the storm. He listened, truly listened, to their stories of loss, of hardship, of unwavering hope. He offered not empty promises, but a genuine connection, a shared humanity that transcended borders and politics. And then he saw her. A little girl, no older than 7, stood alone, her eyes wide with a fear that no child should ever know. Her clothes were tattered, her face smudged with dirt, but her spirit remained unbroken. Traoré knelt, bringing himself to her level. He spoke softly, his voice a gentle balm to her wounded soul. "What is your name?" he asked, his eyes filled with warmth. She hesitated, then whispered, "Aisha, Aisha," he repeated, savoring the sound of her name. It is a beautiful name. He learned that Aisha had lost her parents in the conflict, that she had walked for days, alone and afraid, searching for safety. Her story, a microcosm of the suffering endured by so many. Traoré's heart ached. He felt a profound sense of responsibility, a burning desire to ease her pain, to protect her from the horrors of the world. He knew, in that moment, that he could not stand idly by. He took Aisha's hand, his touch, gentle and reassuring. "You are safe now," he said, his voice filled with conviction. "I will take care of you." That simple act of kindness, that single moment of human connection, rippled outwards, transforming everything in its wake. A photographer captured the scene, the image of Traoré holding Aisha's hand, a powerful symbol of hope and compassion, instantly went viral. It spread like wildfire across the internet, igniting a spark of empathy in the hearts of millions. People from all walks of life, from all corners of the globe, were moved by the image. They saw in Aisha's eyes the reflection of their own humanity, their own vulnerability. They saw in Traoré's actions the embodiment of true leadership, the courage to care, the willingness to act. The world watched, captivated, as Traoré refused to let Aisha go. He brought her back to his own home, where she was welcomed with open arms by his family. He ensured that she received the best possible care, providing her with food, shelter, education, and most importantly, love. But Traoré's actions did not stop there. He knew that Aisha's story was not unique, that there were countless other children suffering in similar circumstances. He resolved to do everything in his power to help them. He immediately convened a meeting with government officials, demanding a complete overhaul of the country's refugee policies. He argued passionately for a more humane approach, one that prioritized the needs of the most vulnerable, especially children. He spoke with eloquence and conviction, his words resonating with the power of his own personal experience. He shared Aisha's story, reminding everyone that behind every statistic there was a human being, a life worthy of dignity and respect. His words had a profound impact. The officials, moved by his sincerity and his unwavering commitment, agreed to implement sweeping changes to the refugee policies. The new policies focused on providing refugees with access to basic necessities, such as food, shelter, and medical care. They also prioritized the protection of vulnerable children, ensuring that they were safe from exploitation and abuse. But perhaps the most significant change was the shift in attitude. The new policies reflected a newfound sense of compassion and understanding, a recognition that refugees were not a burden, but human beings deserving of empathy and support. The impact of these changes was immediate and profound. Refugees began to feel welcomed and respected, their lives transformed by the simple act of human kindness. Aisha, once a symbol of despair, became a symbol of hope. Her story inspired countless others to open their hearts and their homes to refugees in need. Traoré's actions demonstrated the power of human connection to transcend borders and transform lives. He showed the world that true leadership is not about power or authority, but about empathy, compassion, and the willingness to stand up for what is right. He became a hero, not just in his own country, but across the entire African continent. People looked to him as a beacon of hope, a symbol of a brighter future. His influence extended far beyond refugee policy. He inspired a new generation of leaders who were committed to serving their people, to fighting for justice, and to building a more equitable and compassionate world. He championed education, believing that it was the key to unlocking human potential. He invested heavily in schools and universities, providing opportunities for young people to learn and grow. He promoted economic development, creating jobs and opportunities for people to lift themselves out of poverty. He encouraged entrepreneurship, empowering individuals to create their own businesses and build a better future for themselves and their families. He fought against corruption, demanding transparency and accountability from government officials. He believed that public service was a sacred trust and that those who abused their power should be held accountable. He fostered unity, bringing together people from different ethnic and religious backgrounds to work together for the common good. He believed that diversity was a strength and that by embracing their differences, people could build a stronger and more vibrant society. Traoré's leadership was transformative. He inspired a sense of hope and optimism, a belief that anything was possible. He showed the world that Africa was not a continent of despair, but a continent of potential, a continent of hope, a continent of the future. He never forgot Aisha, the little girl who had touched his heart and changed his life. He remained a constant presence in her life, providing her with love and support. He watched her grow into a confident and intelligent young woman, a testament to the power of hope and resilience. Aisha, inspired by Traoré's example, dedicated her life to helping others. She became a social worker, working with refugees and other vulnerable populations. She wanted to give back to the community that had given her so much. She often spoke of Traoré, describing him as a father figure, a mentor, and a friend. She said that he had taught her the importance of compassion, of empathy, and of never giving up on hope. Traoré's legacy lived on, not just in the policies he implemented, but in the lives he touched. He inspired a generation of leaders, a generation of activists, a generation of ordinary people who were committed to making the world a better place. His story, the story of a compassionate leader who transformed a border from a place of fear into a place of hope, became a legend, a testament to the power of human connection. And it all started with a little girl named Aisha and a leader who dared to care. Imagine the ripple effect, one act of kindness, one moment of compassion, transforming a nation, inspiring a continent, changing the world. Traoré's story reminds us that we all have the power to make a difference. We all have the ability to touch the lives of others, to offer hope, to inspire change. It reminds us that true leadership is not about power or position, but about empathy, compassion, and the willingness to stand up for what is right. It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, hope can prevail. The border, once a symbol of division, became a symbol of unity. The refugees, once forgotten and ignored, were now welcomed and embraced. The little girl, once lost and afraid, was now safe and loved. And the leader, Ibrahim Traoré, stood tall, a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of human connection. The story of Traoré and Aisha is not just a story about refugees. It is a story about humanity. It is a story about the power of compassion, the importance of empathy, and the transformative potential of human connection. It is a story that should inspire us all to be better, to do better, to create a world where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. Traoré understood that leadership wasn't about grand pronouncements or displays of force. It was about the quiet, consistent work of building trust, of fostering understanding, of creating opportunities for everyone to thrive. He saw the potential in every person he met, and he dedicated his life to helping them realize that potential. He wasn't afraid to challenge the status quo, to question conventional wisdom, to push for change. He knew that progress required courage, and he possessed that courage in abundance. He understood that true progress wasn't just about economic growth. It was about social justice, about equality, about creating a society where everyone had the opportunity to live a full and meaningful life. He was a visionary, a dreamer, but he was also a pragmatist, a realist. He understood the challenges facing his country, but he never lost sight of his goals. He worked tirelessly to overcome those challenges, to build a better future for his people. He was a unifier, bringing together people from different backgrounds, different perspectives, different beliefs. He understood that diversity was a strength, and he worked to create a society where everyone felt valued and respected. He was a listener, always willing to hear different points of view, always open to new ideas. He understood that the best solutions often came from unexpected places. He was a learner, constantly seeking knowledge, constantly expanding his understanding of the world. He believed that education was the key to progress, and he was committed to providing opportunities for everyone to learn and grow. He was a servant, always putting the needs of his people before his own. He understood that leadership was about service, about giving back to the community, about making a difference in the lives of others. He was a role model, inspiring others to follow in his footsteps, to dedicate their lives to service, to make the world a better place. He was a leader for the ages, a leader who will be remembered for his compassion, his courage, and his unwavering commitment to justice. And it all started with a little girl named Aisha, and a leader who dared to care. Traoré's actions resonated far beyond the borders of his own nation, inspiring leaders across the African continent and around the world. He showed that it was possible to lead with compassion, to govern with empathy, and to build a society based on justice and equality. His example served as a powerful rebuke to those who believed that leadership was about power and control, about self-interest and personal gain. He demonstrated that true leadership was about service, about sacrifice, about putting the needs of others before your own. He challenged the conventional wisdom that economic growth was the only measure of progress, arguing that social justice, equality, and human dignity were equally important. He inspired a new generation of leaders to embrace these values, to prioritize the needs of the most vulnerable, and to work tirelessly to build a more just and equitable world. His legacy is a testament to the power of one person to make a difference, to the transformative potential of human connection, and to the enduring importance of compassion and empathy. The story of Traoré and Aisha is a reminder that even in the face of immense challenges, hope can prevail, that even in the darkest of times, light can shine through. It is a story that should inspire us all to be better, to do better, to create a world where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. Traoré's vision extended beyond immediate solutions. He sought to address the root causes of displacement and suffering. He understood that lasting peace and prosperity required addressing issues such as poverty, inequality, and lack of access to education and healthcare. He championed policies that promoted sustainable development, empowering communities to build resilient economies and improve their quality of life. He invested in infrastructure, creating jobs and opportunities for people to lift themselves out of poverty. He promoted good governance, ensuring transparency and accountability in government institutions. He fought against corruption, demanding that public officials be held accountable for their actions. He fostered regional cooperation, working with neighboring countries to address shared challenges such as climate change, food security, and cross-border crime. He believed that Africa's future depended on its ability to unite and work together to harness its vast resources and its immense human potential. He was a strong advocate for African solutions to African problems, arguing that the continent should not be reliant on foreign aid or intervention. He believed that Africa had the capacity to solve its own challenges, to build its own future, and to take its rightful place on the world stage. He inspired a new generation of Africans to embrace this vision, to believe in their own potential, and to work tirelessly to build a better future for their continent. His legacy is a testament to the power of vision, to the importance of leadership, and to the transformative potential of African unity. The story of Traoré and Aisha is a reminder that even in the face of immense challenges, hope can prevail, that even in the darkest of times, light can shine through. It is a story that should inspire us all to be better, to do better, to create a world where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. Traoré's influence wasn't confined to the political sphere. He also made a significant impact on the cultural landscape. He understood the importance of preserving and promoting African culture, recognizing that it was a vital source of identity, pride, and resilience. He supported the arts, encouraging artists to express themselves freely and to create works that reflected the richness and diversity of African culture. He invested in museums and cultural institutions, ensuring that future generations would have access to their heritage. He promoted African languages, recognizing that they were essential to preserving cultural identity and promoting understanding between different communities. He celebrated African traditions, encouraging people to maintain their cultural practices and to pass them on to their children. He believed that culture was a powerful force for unity, bringing people together and fostering a sense of shared identity. He inspired a new generation of Africans to embrace their culture, to be proud of their heritage, and to use their cultural traditions to build a stronger and more vibrant society. His legacy is a testament to the power of culture, to the importance of identity, and to the transformative potential of African creativity. The story of Traoré and Aisha is a reminder that even in the face of immense challenges, hope can prevail, that even in the darkest of times, light can shine through. It is a story that should inspire us all to be better, to do better, to create a world where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. Traoré's commitment to justice extended beyond national borders. He was a strong advocate for human rights and international law. He believed that all people, regardless of their nationality, ethnicity, or religion, were entitled to fundamental rights and freedoms. He spoke out against injustice wherever he saw it, condemning human rights abuses and calling for accountability for perpetrators. He supported international efforts to promote peace and security, working to resolve conflicts and prevent future atrocities. He believed that the international community had a responsibility to protect vulnerable populations, to provide humanitarian assistance to those in need, and to hold accountable those who violated international law. He was a strong advocate for multilateralism, believing that the world's challenges could only be addressed through cooperation and collaboration. He inspired a new generation of leaders to embrace these values, to stand up for human rights, and to work tirelessly to build a more just and peaceful world. His legacy is a testament to the power of principle, to the importance of justice, and to the transformative potential of international cooperation. The story of Traoré and Aisha is a reminder that even in the face of immense challenges, hope can prevail, that even in the darkest of times, light can shine through. It is a story that should inspire us all to be better, to do better, to create a world where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. Traoré's leadership was characterized by his unwavering integrity and his deep commitment to ethical principles. He believed that public service was a sacred trust, and that those who held positions of power had a responsibility to act with honesty, transparency, and accountability. He led by example, refusing to accept bribes or engage in corrupt practices. He demanded the same high standards of conduct from his colleagues, holding them accountable for their actions. He established independent institutions to combat corruption, empowering them to investigate and prosecute those who violated the law. He promoted transparency in government, making information about public finances and decision-making processes accessible to the public. He believed that good governance was essential to building a strong and prosperous society, and he worked tirelessly to promote ethical conduct at all levels of government. He inspired a new generation of leaders to embrace these values, to act with integrity, and to build a government that served the interests of the people. His legacy is a testament to the power of ethics, to the importance of integrity, and to the transformative potential of good governance. The story of Traoré and Aisha is a reminder that even in the face of immense challenges, hope can prevail, that even in the darkest of times, light can shine through. It is a story that should inspire us all to be better, to do better, to create a world where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. Traoré's story is a testament to the power of one person to make a difference. He showed that true leadership is not about power or position, but about empathy, compassion, and the willingness to stand up for what is right. He inspired a nation, a continent, and the world. He left behind a legacy of hope, a legacy of justice, a legacy of love. And it all started with a little girl named Aisha, and a leader who dared to care. What can we learn from Traoré's example? How can we apply his principles in our own lives? How can we create a world where everyone is treated with dignity and respect? Let us be inspired by his story. Let us be guided by his values. Let us work together to build a better future for all. The image flickers in my mind, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of human connection. It depicts a scene played out countless times across the globe, a scene of displacement, desperation, and the faint glimmer of hope. A border, a line drawn arbitrarily on a map, becomes a symbol of division, a barrier between safety and peril, between a past shattered and an uncertain future. On one side, a figure stands, representing authority perhaps, or simply a witness to the unfolding human drama. On the other, a child, their eyes wide with a mixture of fear and longing, a silent plea etched on their face. What happens in that moment, that fleeting encounter, can reverberate far beyond the immediate circumstances. It can ignite a spark of empathy, a recognition of shared humanity that transcends borders, ideologies, and prejudices. It can be a catalyst for change, a turning point in the narrative of displacement and suffering. We often speak of policy, of laws and regulations, as the mechanisms by which we address complex global issues, and indeed these frameworks are essential. They provide structure, define responsibilities, and establish guidelines for action. But policy in its abstract form can often feel distant, detached from the human realities it is meant to address. It can become bogged down in bureaucracy, entangled in political maneuvering, and ultimately fail to deliver the intended outcomes. What truly breathes life into policy, what gives it meaning and purpose, is the human element. It is the individual stories, the personal experiences, the encounters that remind us of the faces behind the statistics. It is the recognition that every refugee, every displaced person, is not merely a number, but a human being with hopes, dreams, and a fundamental right to safety and dignity. The child at the border in that moment of vulnerability becomes a symbol of all those who have been forced to flee their homes, their lives torn apart by conflict, persecution, or disaster. They represent the millions of children who have known nothing but displacement, who have grown up in refugee camps, their education disrupted, their futures uncertain. They are a reminder of the immense human cost of war, of political instability, of environmental degradation. And the figure who encounters the child, whether a border guard, a humanitarian worker, or simply a passerby, has a choice to make. They can choose to remain detached, to see the child as just another statistic, another problem to be managed. Or they can choose to connect, to acknowledge the child's humanity, to offer a gesture of compassion, a moment of understanding. It is in these moments of connection that the seeds of change are sown. When we allow ourselves to truly see the suffering of others, when we recognize their inherent worth, we are compelled to act. We are moved to demand better policies, more humane treatment, and a more just world. The story of the encounter at the border is not just about one child or one individual. It is about all of us. It is a call to action, a reminder that we all have a role to play in creating a world where displacement is no longer a defining feature of our time. How do we build such a world? It begins with empathy, with cultivating the ability to see the world through the eyes of others, to understand their experiences, and to feel their pain. It requires us to challenge our own biases and prejudices, to recognize that we are all interconnected, that our fates are intertwined. It also requires us to engage in informed and constructive dialogue about the root causes of displacement. We must address the conflicts, the inequalities, and the environmental challenges that force people to flee their homes in the first place. We must work to create more peaceful, just, and sustainable societies where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. And finally, it requires us to support organizations and initiatives that are working on the front lines of the refugee crisis. We can donate our time, our resources, or our voices to help provide assistance to those who have been displaced, to advocate for their rights, and to promote their integration into new communities. The task before us is daunting, but it is not insurmountable. By working together, by embracing our shared humanity, we can create a world where every child has the opportunity to grow up in safety and dignity, where no one is forced to flee their home in search of a better life. The image of the child at the border remains etched in my mind, a constant reminder of the work that remains to be done. It is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope can endure, that even in the face of immense suffering, the human spirit can prevail. We must never forget the lessons of the past. We must learn from our mistakes, and we must strive to create a future where such scenes of displacement and despair are relegated to the history books. We owe it to the children of today, and to the generations to come, to build a world where everyone has the opportunity to live a life of peace, security, and dignity. The encounter at the border, though seemingly small and insignificant, has the power to change the world. It is a reminder that even a single act of kindness, a single moment of connection, can have a profound impact on the lives of others. It is a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference, to create a more just and compassionate world. Let us not turn away from the suffering of others. Let us not close our eyes to the plight of the displaced. Let us instead open our hearts, extend our hands, and work together to build a world where everyone belongs. Let us make the encounter at the border a turning point, a moment when humanity chose to embrace its shared responsibility to create a future where no child is left behind. The journey towards a more just and compassionate world is long and arduous, but it is a journey worth taking. It is a journey that requires courage, perseverance, and unwavering commitment. But it is also a journey that offers the promise of a brighter future, a future where all people can live in peace, security, and dignity. The child at the border, in their vulnerability and resilience, embodies the hope of that future. They are a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable hardship, the human spirit can endure. They are a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference, to create a world where everyone belongs. Let us honor their courage, let us embrace their hope, and let us work together to build a world worthy of their dreams. Let the encounter at the border be a catalyst for change, a moment when humanity chose to embrace its shared responsibility to create a future where no child is left behind. Let the legacy of that encounter be a world where displacement is no longer a defining feature of our time, a world where all people can live in peace, security, and dignity. The responsibility falls on each of us to ensure that such encounters lead to lasting change. We must hold our leaders accountable, demand humane policies, and support organizations working to alleviate suffering. We must also cultivate empathy within ourselves and our communities, fostering a culture of welcome and inclusion for those who have been displaced. The image of the child at the border serves as a constant reminder of the human cost of inaction. It is a call to action, urging us to move beyond rhetoric and embrace concrete solutions. It is a challenge to our conscience, demanding that we confront the root causes of displacement and work towards a more just and equitable world. Let us not allow this moment to pass without learning its lessons. Let us not allow the suffering of the child at the border to be in vain. Let us instead use this encounter as an opportunity to renew our commitment to building a world where all people are treated with dignity and respect. A world where every child has the chance to thrive. The power to create such a world lies within our grasp. It requires only that we choose to act, that we choose to embrace our shared humanity, and that we choose to build a future where no one is left behind. Let the encounter at the border be a testament to our collective will, a symbol of our unwavering commitment to creating a world where peace, justice, and compassion prevail.